Okay. We're in section 3.2 where we are solving equations that have like terms and parentheses. So parentheses deals with the distributive property. So again, let's review the distributive property before we get started. So here I have 3 times the quantity of x plus 5. What this means is the distributive property is we take this 3 and we're going to multiply it by both the x and the plus 5. So here I'm going to take this 3 and I'm going to multiply it by x. And so what that does is it gives us 3 times x. Then what you're going to do is you're going to take that plus and put it right here. Plus. And then the last thing is you're going to take 3 times 5, which is 15. So that's why 3 times the quantity of x plus 5 is 3x plus 15. So when we are solving equations that have both parentheses and like terms, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to eliminate parentheses by using the distributive property, which I just showed you from the review. Second step, we're going to combine like terms on each side of the equal sign. And then steps 3, 4, and 5 are just like it was from section 3.1. We're going to eliminate the constant by using inverse operation of addition or subtraction. Then we're going to eliminate the coefficient by using the inverse property of multiplication or division. And then last step, we're going to see if it makes sense. So it's a lot of the same of what we did from 3.1, except we're going to use the distributive property to remove parentheses. So if we look at these examples, I have 7 times the quantity of 3 minus x equals a negative 21. So here I'm going to again use the distributive property. So I got 7 times 3, which gives me 21. I'm going to put this minus sign right here, and then 7 times by x is going to give me 7x equals a negative 21. Now step 2 is they're asking you to add like terms on each side of the equal sign. In this case, we do not have any. So now we just go through the steps that we did from section 3.1. I'm going to subtract both sides by 21 to eliminate the constant. And now I'm left with a negative 7x equals a negative 42, because negative 21 minus 21 is a negative 42. I'm going to eliminate the coefficient, so it's a negative 7. And this cancels out, so x here equals a positive 6, because a negative divided by a negative gives me a positive. Next example is 3n minus 40 plus 2n equals 15. So if we look at the first step is to eliminate the parentheses. In this case, we have none. So step 1 is complete. Step 2 is we're going to add up like terms on each side of the equal sign. So I notice that I have like terms here and here. They're both n. They both have an n variable attached to it. So it's a positive 3n plus 2n, which will then give me 5n. And then I just rewrite the minus 40 equals 15. Okay. Now it's just like steps from 3.1. To get rid of the constant of 40, I got to add 40 from both sides, because it's, if I cross the line, change the sign here, it's a negative 40. So remove that, so I'm left with 5n equals 40 plus 15 gives me 55. And if I were to divide both sides by 5 to eliminate the coefficient, I get n equals 11. I need some more room. Okay. This one is 5x minus 2x or 5x minus 2 times the quantity of x minus 1 equals 8. So we have parentheses in this time. So we have to eliminate that by using the distributive property. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cross the line, change the sign in this case. This will make it easier on us to determine what the values need to be. So I'm going to rewrite 5x here. And then I'm going to write plus negative 2 multiplied by x gives me a negative 2x. I'm going to rewrite this subtraction here. And negative 2 multiplied by positive 1 is going to give me a negative 2. But since I'm subtracting by a negative, I cross the line, change the sign, so it's actually plus a positive 2. And as I look at this, I have some like terms. I have 5x plus a negative 2x. So 5x plus a negative 2x is going to give me a 3x, positive 3x, and plus 2 equals 8. And now I'm just going to use inverse operation of addition or subtraction to solve my constant. So that removes this. So this becomes 3x equals 6. And if I divide both sides by 3, I get x equals 2. Now if you're like, well, you did a lot of cross the line change the signs, is this going to give me the correct answer? Let's check. So I have 5, and let's put 2 in here. And let's go minus 2 times the quantity of 2 minus 1, and let's see if it equals 8. So let's deal with the parentheses first. So I'm going to go 5 times 2 minus 2 times 2 minus 1. That gives me 1. See if it equals 8. Multiplication comes before addition or subtraction. So 5 times 2 gives me 10. Minus 2 times 1 gives me 2. And see if that equals 8. And 10 minus 2 is 8. And that also equals 8. So it does check out. So now, here's something you can try on your own. I have 13t minus 7 minus 10t equals 2. I got 3 times the quantity of 7 minus 2y equals 9. And I have 3 times, or 3 minus, or 2y minus 3 times the quantity of y plus 4 equals 13. So if you wanted to pause to see if you could do it yourself, and I will solve them accordingly. Hopefully you did the exact same things that I did. So if you gave them a try, looking at the first example, you see that there's no parentheses. So all I have to do now is solve for like terms, because I got like terms here and here. So I got 3t minus 10t. So 3t minus 10t is just going to leave me with 3t minus 7 equals 2. Now I have to remove the constant, so I have to add 7 to both sides. So it eliminates that. So now I got 3t on the left side, and I got a positive 9 on the right side. Last thing I have to do is do the inverse operation for division to eliminate this. So it gets the variable by itself on one side of the equal sign, and t equals 3. Looking at the second example, we have parentheses, so we must use the distributive property. So I'm going to go here, so that's 21 minus 6y equals 9. I'm going to subtract 21 from both sides, so that cancels out, so I'm left with a negative 6y equals 9 minus 21 gives me a negative 12 here. So I'm going to divide both sides by negative 6. And my y is going to give me a positive 2. Hopefully you're getting these right. Last one, I got 2y minus 3 times the quantity of y plus 4 equals 13. This time I have parentheses again, so I'm going to write 2y here. I cross the line, change the sign on this one, so it's a plus, and it's negative 3y plus a negative 12 equals 13. I got like terms right here. 2y plus a negative 3y. Well, 2 plus negative 3 is a negative 1, so I'm left with a negative y plus a negative 12 equals 13. So I have to add 12 to both sides to eliminate this constant. So I'm left with a negative y equals 13 plus 12 gives me a 25. But it's a negative y, so you can either multiply or divide by a negative 1, because a negative divided by a negative will give me a positive, so that gives me y equals a negative 25. And if you wanted to check it, see if it held true, let's take a look. So I got 2 times negative 25 minus 3 times the quantity of negative 25 plus 4, see if it equals 13. So let's get rid of let's use the parentheses. So it's negative 25 plus 4 gives me a negative 21. So I got 2 times negative 25 minus 3 over negative 21. See if it equals 13. 2 times negative 25 gives me a negative 50, because multiplication becomes before subtraction. And negative 21 multiplied by 3 gives me a negative 63. And I have to cross the line, change the sign, and negative 50 plus 63 gives me 13. And that also equals 13. So it checks out. Last example is we are given a square. They're telling us that the perimeter equals 28 units. We want to find the value for x. Now remember, perimeter is the distance all the way around. So it is the sum of all the sides. So when we are adding up all the sides, I know that each side is a value of x plus 3. So this is also x plus 3. This is also x plus 3. So I can say that the perimeter here is going to be 4 times the quantity of x plus 3, and it's going to equal 28. So again, I have to use the distributive property. So it's going to give me 4x plus 12 equals 28. I'm going to subtract 12 from both sides, which I'm left with 4x on the left-hand side, and 28 minus 12 equals 16. I divide both sides by 4, which gives me x equals 4. And if you were to test it, it would check out. And that is being able to solve equations with parentheses and like terms. Hope this helps. Until next time.